Hey, this is a video about comparing the Canon SX730 with the Canon SX740. I have both. I'm going to take a little bit more of a detailed look at the menuing. The cameras are basically the same. All the controls are the same. If I turn this one around, you can see that the actual controls, you can see that the controls are the same on both cameras. And they both function very similarly, but Canon has changed the menuing somewhat. It's done a few things differently. I think there are a few improvements, and I wanted to just show this. This might be useful if you have a 730, Canon SX730, and you're thinking to upgrade to a 740. I hope this provides some information to help you make that decision. So we're looking at the Canon SX730 right now at the screen, and I have it in program mode, and the way I set it up, you know, you can bring up the menuing by pressing the menu button, and if we look at some of the menuing we have here, we have I can change my spot metering. You know, I can change my metering to be evaluative, spot, you know, or full averaging, right? So that's useful. I can change the average white balance, and most of these menus are the same. You can drill down if you have a cloudy day, auto white balance. You can change your ISO, self timer is here, flash controls are here, the drive mode if you want to go for auto drive, you know, multiple frames, and these other settings, right? So those are here. What's not here is if I want to change autofocus. In order to change autofocus, I have to get into the menuing, I believe, here. Let me just see here. I think I have to go into these menus. Yeah, I have to go into autofocus, and I have to drill down a little bit and look for that menu, and then come back out, right? So that's not the quickest thing in the world when you're out in the field shooting. Some of the things you want to do quickly, you want to adjust your white balance. Some of the things I want to do, I want to adjust my autofocus. I want to go into manual focus sometimes and do that. And I want to change my metering. Those are typical things I do quite a bit. So let me turn this off, and let me just go over here to the 740. Power that up. And here, when I hit the menuing, you see it's a different screen. And one of the things that's in here is autofocus. And when you select autofocus, okay, so if I press the menu button, up comes this screen. Now I'll pick autofocus because that's a favorite of mine. When you pick this, it brings up, when you pick this, it brings up autofocus here, and it gives you your selections down here, and you can just scroll left and right to pick your preference. And as you work with these features and you know them, it's pretty quick. So I'm in the field, I want to change my autofocus, I can do that pretty quickly. And it's like that. What they've done, Canon, is they brought forward some of the menus that you have to drill down to. Autofocus operation, there's a couple other things here. Drive mode, metering mode, same as on the other camera. So if we go with metering mode, I don't have to drill anywhere. It shows me the options down here, and I can just slide across. I can change metering pretty quickly. So that's an improvement in my mind. Image quality, movie, have ISO, average white balance, the vivid colors. And it's like that across the whole spectrum here. You get these choices down here you can pick from. So I think that's a good improvement on the camera. It's a little quicker. The problem with these cameras is you're only using this back screen out in very vivid sunlight. It's a little hard to work with sometimes. You wish you had a closed-in finder also to make life simpler. These are cheap cameras. They're $400 compared to some of the other cameras. And they have just an extraordinary telephoto lens. I mean, this camera goes from 24mm wide angle to out to like 900mm, which is just spectacular. You know, it's really just great. So it does have manual focus, and let me just see if I can get manual focus here. I have to turn off this focus mode to get to manual focus. Let me do that. Okay, so if I press the menu button, up comes this screen. Now I'll pick autofocus because that's a favorite of mine. When you pick this, it brings up, autofocus here, and it gives you your selections down here, and you can just scroll left and right to pick your preference. And as you work with these features and you know them, it's pretty quick. So I'm in the field, I want to change my autofocus, I can do that pretty quickly. And it's like that. What they've done, Canon, is they brought forward some of the menus that you have to drill down to. Autofocus operation, there's a couple other things here. Drive mode, metering mode, same as on the other camera. So if we go with metering mode, I don't have to drill anywhere. It shows me the options down here, and I can just slide across. I can change metering pretty quickly. So that's an improvement in my mind. Image quality, movie, have ISO, average white balance, the vivid colors. And it's like that across the whole spectrum here. You get these choices down here you can pick from. So I think that's a good improvement on the camera. It's a little quicker. The problem with these cameras is you're only using this back screen out in very vivid sunlight. It's a little hard to work with sometimes. You wish you had a closed-in finder also to make life simpler. These are cheap cameras. They're $400 compared to some of the other cameras. And they have just an extraordinary telephoto lens. I mean, this camera goes from 24mm wide angle to out to like 900mm, which is just spectacular. You know, it's really just great. So it does have manual focus, and let me just see if I can get manual focus here. I have to turn off this focus mode to get to manual focus. Let me do that. In order to turn on manual focus, I would press the menu button, come down here and switch to one of the other focus modes. I think autofocus will do it. And I have to be in program mode on this camera, which I am. And if I pick here, now I can switch to manual focus, and I can focus. This camera does have the edge focusing, where it shows you red when something is in focus. I thought it did not, but it does. And you can just set your manual focus. You know, a little slow. You know, again, if you're up photographing a flower and you want to have that, that's how you do it on the 740. It's similar on the 730, just the menus are buried a little deeper. So let me look at what else here. Here's the menuing system. They have an option, yeah, standard menu. So you can pick standard or guided. Guided is a graphical interface like this, which I don't really like. If you're used to Canons, you know, the traditional one looks more similar to the one I was showing you. If you like, you know, this GUI interface, which it just doesn't do it for me. I think it's unnecessary for me since I know the old system. But the menuing can look a little different. Let's go back there. Yeah, menu. I'll go back over here. I'll go back into guided menu. I'm going to turn this off now. I'm going to go back to standard, and the menu brings up more of a you know, a choice, a menu choice. Pretty easy to do. You just press the menu button here to bring that up. It's pretty straightforward. You know, I'm used to this camera. I like the interface. I did upgrade. This camera, the 740, provided something the 730 doesn't have, and that's time-lapse photography. And I needed that, I wanted that. The camera's weakness, in my opinion, is, again, using that in bright sunny light. That's going to be a problem for any camera that only has a back display. Even though this back display flips up, it's very useful when you're photographing yourself and no one else. You know, it's good for vlogging. It does do vlogging very well. I think you're missing something if that's all you're doing is vlogging. I think you're missing this beautiful zoom it's got. You know, you want to take a picture of the moon full zoom, this camera will do it. I mean, it's kind of wasting it. It's good in the field, it holds up pretty well, gets decent battery life. I like the camera. Obviously I bought, you know, 2 of them, and if it did nighttime photography, I know general nighttime shooting it does pretty well. If you're in like a city, if you're in Times Square, New York, and you want to take some video, it's going to be fine. It's just going to do a great job. But if you are out camping and it's a moonless night and you want to photograph the heavens and you want to get the Milky Way, this camera cannot do it, in my opinion. So, pretty good camera for 400 bucks. Not too much to not like about it, you know. You have a lot of choices and it's pretty confusing. Here, look at this zoom. Hold on. You know, look at that. I mean, geez. It's enough to make any man proud. So, you know, it's a fun to use camera. You have to learn how to use it like any other camera. So, but it's time well spent. If you spend the time with this camera, I think you'll be happy. It can do point and shoot like any other camera. I keep saying because I'm talking to myself here, pardon me. Color choice, personal. I think the silver photographs well for advertising. I think the black is pretty functional for field use. And I did try silver this time. Next time around I'll probably go for black. Hopefully when they come out with a new model next year, in addition to the features they have here, such as time-lapse photography on this camera, which I haven't even used yet, but I will use it this summer when I'm out camping. Which reminds me, you can see samples of these cameras in my on my channel, and I have a second channel called Cosmo Weems, and pretty much all of that was shot with the 730 for the most part. And over the last year, videos about a year old show the 730, and you can see plenty of samples of photography of the 730 there, including the zoom in action. So I think they're good cameras. I hope the next time around though they include better some capacity for photographing stars. You know, moon's no problem, but you can't photograph stars. You can't do time lapse with good light gathering at night. Allows you to photograph the heavens, the rotation of the earth, everything. You know, it's just great. So let's hope they put that in with the 750 when that comes out. Anything to keep us spending our money. Enjoy. I hope this is helpful for prospective buyers. Hey, give me a thumbs up, all right? And subscribe. So once you've got a camera like this and you want to protect it, I'm using these nylon cases I purchased on Amazon. And I've shown them before, but I thought it was worth showing them again. It has a pocket. It has a pocket for a spare battery, and I carry a small plastic bag in here also in case I get caught in the rain and protect the camera. I did put a credit card type plastic hotel door opener in this pouch between the battery and the camera. While it's padded, that prevents the battery from getting at an angle or something in the pouch and pressing up against the lens with a sharp corner. It spreads out the forces and protects the camera better. So that is here. You can see that little card in there. Okay. I just pop that in there and it stays in place and it protects the camera from the battery. I have a second one for the 740, obviously. And then I purchased one of these leather type cases, the Never Ready case. You know, I'm an old photographer and I thought I'd be using this a lot. So far I haven't used it at all. But I have it, you know, it's important to have this stuff. This is another nylon case from Amazon Basics. And the difference here is this one has a built-in shoulder strap and it has a belt loop. They all have this. They all have a belt loop, which I use the most. But this one, the shoulder strap or neck strap connects at one point and hangs there, right? Now, it's not an issue, but this one has a 2 attachment point neck strap, which is more traditional, you know, like for a shoulder strap or something like that. It's slightly larger, Holds the camera just perfect. No issues with either of these, but you can see this case is slightly more roomy. Make no mistake, this case is a snug fit. This case is a little roomier. Let me see if I can get a shot of that. Open this case up, slide the camera in, and it has just a little bit more room in there. All these cases are usable by me. It does have the front pouch for a camera battery. Very inexpensive cases. They do have a tiny pocket in here you can put your battery in. They're very similar. I wouldn't be surprised if they're made by the same company. They're not expensive. And they all work well, so that's a good way for you to protect your camera. Again, I carry a plastic bag that fits the camera, so in case I get caught in the rain, I'm protected. So, hey, happy shooting. I hope you have fun photographing.